Yeah, hello everybody. Welcome back to the fourth episode of We Are the Wave here at AfterBuzz TV in Los Angeles, and we have a lot to talk about, right? First of all, Tristan gets out of the prison. We see that Lea is kicking him out of the wave, and also Lea and Tristan have a very fun time together, right? There's a lot more now in the fourth overview or review of the fourth episode of We Are the Wave on Netflix here at AfterBuzz TV in Los Angeles.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, hello everybody. Here it's me again, Benjamin Schnau, right? Giving you guys the biggest information you need for the fourth episode of We Are the Wave on Netflix. And as I said already, we have a lot to talk about because there were so many twists and kind of unexpected moments that I didn't see coming, right? But let's start from the very beginning. The first thing that we see is basically kind of a review of the last end of the last episode, right? Which, remember, it's a slaughterhouse. All the people running into the slaughterhouse, trying to destroy it, trying to free all these animals, right? But then out of a sudden, the police is coming. No one knows why the police is coming, but Lea gets caught. I mean, wasn't really a surprise per se because she's the leader of the group. So from the storyline perspective, I had a feeling that she gets caught. But it was interesting how the police officer is behaving because he says something very interesting. When Lea is in the office with the police officer, he tells her something like, hey, you know what? Why are you worried? You're basically from a wealthy family. You don't have to be worried. But think about all these kids and their families, all the family members working in the slaughterhouse trying to get the money home. You don't have to worry about that, but what happened to these people? So he was saying something that I personally was thinking about for a moment. I was like, hey, he's kind of right. Lea, for me, is still fighting for the right thing, but the way how she did it, getting all these people involved and now their families struggling with not having work anymore is something that I also see from the police officer's side, right? So I'm kind of in between. Let me know what you guys think, right? But that was a very special moment to me, like an eye-opening moment because I'd never thought about it that way. But Lea gets out, she gets back home, but she still hasn't changed. So I feel like Lea right now became or really wants to become the leader of the group, right? I think she's completely gone from her old kind of lifestyle. She left it all behind. She wants to become the leader of the wave and is also going against Tristan. Because remember, what I mentioned before is that the police was coming to the slaughterhouse and was getting all those people and, catching or having Lea caught at the end. But we don't know who did the phone call to tell the police that they should go there. But out of a sudden, we go back to the factory where everyone is always meeting. Tristan comes in the screen and he's telling them, obviously, openly, that he did the phone call. And everyone obviously is freaking out. Everyone is mad about him. But I definitely understood why he did it because he told something from the very beginning to everybody in the last episode. Remember, he said, hey guys, if we have too many people in the wave, in the group, as a group, working all these things and fighting for our rights, we're not gonna make it happen because you cannot trust all these people. They just wanna be part of a community, but they don't really have the same principles we have. And I'm totally agreeing with that. He just gave them a phone call to the police and telling them about a slaughterhouse, which is not a nice thing to do. But at the end, I think he didn't really have a choice to wake up Lea. I think it was kind of a wake-up call for Lea. That's what he wanted to tell her. I mean, Lea wasn't really surprised as we see in the episode, right? She kind of had a feeling for it, I believe, but she was very mad at him. She didn't really want to talk to him anymore, and she even kicked him out because all the people, Zazie, Hagen, and Rahim, they were already on Lea's side, and everyone was pretty much against Tristan, who created this whole group at the very beginning. Very interesting twist. I didn't expect that Tristan basically leaves the group in the first place. And Lea is really trying to take over, but I think what she also realizes at the beginning and also at the end of the first episode that we saw is that she is still not ready to do that. I think she is really someone who needs someone like Tristan to lead the way, to show her what to do the right way, and she's definitely someone that will do exactly the same thing and just copy him pretty much, right? So I think she is not ready yet. And as we see in the episode, he's coming back, right? He's pretty much convincing her, and what he does is very interesting because he's like, hey, you know what? I want to prove you, Lea, that I'm believing in you and I want to have you back and all the people back. And he's running back to the slaughterhouse and is throwing a cocktail, like a fire cocktail, into the window and is letting it burn. The whole slaughterhouse is basically burning down. And he's filming that even on the video on his camera and is sending that to Lea as a proof that he wants to fight for her as well. So you can really tell in this episode that Lea and Tristan got to a next level. And I think this fight, this argument that they had was also kind of very important to them to understand who they really are and what they're feeling for each other. Right? I think it's like in real life, if you think about it for a second, sometimes you have to have an argument to really understand how you really feel for someone. And I think that was an interesting thing, interesting twist that the story writers felt like, hey, we have to have an argument here, we have to have a conflict, but then turning it around, having Tristan coming back into the picture, and obviously having like a very sexy time with Lea at the end, right? Which was very funny in a way, because the way how it turned out was interesting, because Tristan is just coming to the family house of Lea, knocking on the door, and it's like, hey, I'm back. And out of a sudden, like just coincidentally, Lea's parents are gone, right? And what is happening that was kind of predictable? They having something happening, right? Something funny and something, sexy time. That's all I'm saying. But coming back to Tristan, also very interesting information that we get today on the show is that Tristan is basically out of prison. So he leaves the prison, he's a free man, he can do whatever. And what he does in the first place is he's talking to a girl called Nikki. And he's calling her in the first place in the woods, and he's giving her a call and says something like, hey, is the carpenter still doing stuff? And I was like, hey, wait a second. What do you mean with carpenter? Who is the carpenter, by the way? Why do you need like a carpenter? That doesn't make any sense. And I could tell, obviously, in the next moment, how Nikki's responding to him, that they have this kind of code language, right? So they're talking about something that I don't really know about what it is yet, but something that Tristan wants from Nikki. I have no idea what it is, but he pays money for it, obviously. And then also having the scene when Nikki is coming with the truck and with her buddies, and he has to let his pants down and is basically in front of them naked to prove that he's not working against them. It feels a little bit like a mafia thing, kind of, right? I can't really explain what it is. So we will see. I hope they're going to show us a little bit more what Nikki is bringing him, because he paid her at least a couple thousand euros for something we don't know yet, right? So let me know what you guys think. So what do you think Tristan wants from Nikki? I mean, obviously they know each other, right? So Nikki feels like someone who's like a street gang leader in a way. She's living on the streets, having all her buddies around, so probably drugs. My prediction, I'm not sure, maybe there's something about drugs, but maybe even something about weapons too, because I feel like Tristan still has a plan to do something against this weapon company. I mean, remember what happened the last couple episodes. What we found out is that Tristan accidentally shot someone or basically beat someone up, like a CEO of a weapon company, but he just thought it was a CEO, so he beat someone up completely differently that he didn't even know about. And that's the reason why he got into prison in the first place, right? Think about that for a second. Now, I still believe he didn't forget about that. He still wants to come back with the weapon, maybe doing something even crazier, and really go with that and just trying to make it happen this time. So that's just my prediction for this time. But also very interesting, because I was also thinking about, okay, where's Tristan coming from? We have information that he's coming from Hamburg, right? He was in this kind of gang. He was trying to do some rebellion stuff already in the past. Then he got into prison, so he didn't have the chance anymore. But now we also experience a very emotional side of him, which is interesting to see, because his mom, is gone. So she died. She was actually shot a couple of years ago, and she was also someone fighting for the right things in life. She was working for charities, as we find out, and she's really doing the right thing. But then out of a sudden, she was in Sudan and got killed by some people and never came back, obviously. I think that was a situation for Tristan when he really was trying to get into her footprint and really trying to do what she did all her life. So he's just moving on with the work his mom did all her life. So, which is a great thing to see, but I think he's pretty much also emotionally influenced by the whole situation, right? So I think he's a good guy. He knows exactly what he wants in life, but he's also very emotionally influenced by the loss of his mom. And we still don't even know about his dad. So I'm really curious about this dad situation as well, because I believe that he has a very difficult situation with his dad. He never talks about his dad. We saw a lot of scenes with his mom now, that means like he was very close to her. He's never talking about his dad. So I definitely believe that there's something more coming up in the next episodes. Maybe even kind of a conflict. His dad is coming back into the picture and they have something going on as well. Just my prediction for now. Let me know what you guys think. Please write me in the comments in the YouTube channel. Would love to hear from you guys in German and English, whatever you feel like. Thank you so much for watching. That was the fourth review of the fourth episode of We Are the Wave on Netflix here at AfterBuzz TV in Los Angeles. And you can always follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Benjamin Schnau, like the dog, right? You know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much and see you next week.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV.